Hello everyone, and welcome to Court of the Rings here on twitch.tv/LOTRO stream, youtube.com/Lord of the Rings/live, and facebook.com/LOTRO. I am LOTRO's community manager, Cordovan, and I'm going to be here for the next hour doing a little bit of Q&A. We're going to talk about an upcoming patch and some raid stuff. We're going to talk Bullroarer a little bit. You're going to get a sense of some class changes that are coming up based on Bullroarer release notes. Why is that? Well, we released yesterday afternoon our very first preview of the new raid and update 23.2, which is potentially coming before that here in the relatively near future. But the raid itself is not yet been given a release date, and I can actually talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. The update contains the new Anvil of Winterstith raid, class updates for Bjorning and Burglar, bug fixes, and more. This update is still in development, and in some cases early development, so expect quite a bit of iteration and changes before we release it. Bullroarer is going to be shut down this afternoon. We apologize for not keeping it up this weekend, but we just kind of have various reasons we need to do that. Plus, we're going to be doing, multiple iterations of the preview on Bullroarer and all that sort of thing as well. So, nothing really to announce exactly as to when the raid's going to be released. I know I saw some stuff in the forums here about when is the raid going to be released. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys and gals in just a little bit here. But first, let me introduce my co-host here, Druid's Fire. How are you doing, Druid's Fire?
I'm awake. Hello, everybody.
All right, and you actually, I have an announcement to make. I've been on vacation most this week. Here's the thing about being on vacation when you're the community manager for an online video game. The fastest way to ensure that you will not be on vacation much is to let everybody on the internet know that you are gone for a week. So, but yes, I've actually had some time off today, so I'm actually a little behind the times on, say, exactly what's happening with the raid and all that sort of thing in Bullroarer, but you have actually been on Bullroarer, Druid's Fire, have you not?
I have.
So give me a quick rundown of what you saw and did.
I tested the Bjorning level 75 in a travel form. I don't know what you're officially calling it. I call it a travel form because I play a druid in some other game, and that's what they call it. It is bear form, and you can use it anywhere, including inside. I also saw Dusty, the Forgotten Boxes vendor, where prices are probably not final, but where you can take all of your old pre-Mordor loot boxes that normally took the sturdy steel key and buy a box to use that key on for 1 silver and 32 copper.
Oh, nice. Cool. I wasn't 100% sure that was in the patch there, but that's cool. I'm glad to see that is in there, because that's been something that's been a long time request coming here, and it worked fairly well on Bullroarer, at least in this preview.
Yeah, just go to the vendor, buy a box for whatever level is appropriate for your character, and get rid of all those damn keys in your inventory.
Nice, nice. That'll be cool. All right, so the other piece I will actually, let me drop this into chat first, and then I will actually put it up very briefly so you can follow along. And I'm not going to go, I'm going to try not to be too dry with it all, because it's a lot to read and take in and that sort of thing. But let me do at least a quick elevator synopsis of our release notes here, and let me call that up. You too can actually find this information on the Lord of the Rings online forums, the Bullroarer. Wrong game.
We know which game you love more, Jerry.
Gosh darn it. I'm the worst.
You are the worst.
Alright. Bullroarer has been updated to build 23. Blah, blah, blah. See, this is how we name it. Welcome to my world. The player database has been wiped with this deployment. This update contains the new Anvil of Winterstith raid, class updates for Bjorning and Burglar, bug fixes, and more. Like Bjorning, normalized all Bjorning skills to standardized progressions. This is typical class balance work that Vastin's been doing with all this stuff. You can now earn the ability to wear heavy armor as of level 15. Old Bjorning armor sets have been converted to heavy armor statistically. Level 116 to 20 Bjorning armor has been converted to heavy, so basically Bjorning is getting heavy armor. A lot of that sort of thing. Heart and cooldown increased. You can now learn Wanderlust, the ability to use bear form for out-of-combat travel at level 75. That should be a pretty popular one, I would think.
Travel.
Yeah. Yellow line in the face of a trait is replaced with overbearing. It grants a separate combat res skill with a shorter induction that doesn't replace the peaceful version of bear up. Res now works more consistently. Shake free bubble, 10% morale bubble. And that's all we got so far in the publicly, at least with the Bjorning. Expect some tweaks before this probably goes live, and along with potentially some further work depending on how things go. For the burglar, we are... See, a lot of this is fairly burglar specific and maybe a little on the complex side to read out loud. So I guess if you are a burglar player, I would say we've got, what, about a dozen or so changes in there, a lot of skill changes and things like that. So set bonus changes and a bunch of other changes like that. So take a look at that. Otherwise, Guardians just got one this time around. Flash of light damage moved into a normalized progression. Minstrel, 3 of the skills will now grant a bubble equal to 10% of max morale bonus. Maximum morale before bonuses. That'll be the Gift Legend Story of the Hammerhand. And we've also got a whole bunch. You can just, if I scroll through this all, you can just kind of see just how much stuff we're talking about here. Whole bunch of kind of quest and adventure area bugs and fixes. It sounds like we still have a little bit of work to do on sort of like frills and kind of physics bugs and some things like that. But just a whole bunch of kind of bug work done in quest and adventure areas. Tier 2 essences for items can be crafted now. They are currently bound to account. This is a bug, and this will be changed. But, yep. You will be able to craft Tier 2 essences. The buff for the Warden set bonus, refresh, never mind. The imbued legendary item level cap has been increased. There are another 5 additional levels for legacies. 3 can be unlocked, 2 are granted for free. Let's see. And a bunch of Angmar gearing update. You can read more about that.
So there's something that's missing from those patch notes.
Yeah?
Burglars have a throw knife, a ranged attack, and Positively Evil discovered it yesterday and spazzed out about it on stream.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of this is just so granular and fairly long to read. I'm not going to read it all here, especially since you could see it yourself. However, it does show indeed that we've got, you know, a not insignificant patch coming up here in the relatively near future. Now, on the timing of this thing, I would actually be curious. Now, this is not going to, I'm not saying this is going to kind of make the difference or whatever, but, oh my gosh, just a second. I'm trying to get my LOTRO client going while on the air, and it doesn't like the fact that some of the DLLs are already in XSplit. Hopefully this will work, folks. Yeah, I mean, we do, you know, so here's the thing, as I said, you know, I've kind of had some time off. So QA did a lot of the release note work this time around, so it may well be that just kind of in the rush to get it out onto Bullroarer and all that, a few things might have got missed. So that's common for this kind of early stage of Bullroarer preview, I would say. Just sort of expect it, you know. All right, let's see if this worked. I'm going to try to get into the game client. Otherwise, I did want to mention that when next we meet, this mustache will be gone. Thank your lucky stars. Okay, so anyway, but I did want to say thank you to everybody who has donated both for Movember and for Extra Life. So I know I'm way behind on things. Next year, I'm going to just be far more realistic. This is like the 3rd year in a row that I've done Extra Life and Movember, and done stuff in October and November and that. And the reality is, I never get time to even begin sending people stuff until December. That's just the sad reality about the amount of work it actually takes to pull this kind of thing off behind the scenes, plus general busyness of the holidays and the fact that we released Legendary Server, among with other all sorts of other things. So, hey, we've been busy, but we raised more than $23,000 this year for Extra Life, and that is just absolutely incredible. I have heard from the Boston Children's Hospital that not only were we the most fundraisingest, but it looks like we actually may top that list for the year in total here for the Boston Children's Hospital. So that is huge, and it's all due to your generosity and support and interest in the Extra Life kind of program that's done. So thank you to everyone who donated. I know I'm a little behind, more than a little behind, frankly. It's been, what, a couple months now? Hey, whatever. I will get you your stuff, I promise you. You don't need to PM me. I've got currently 192 unopened private messages, along with something like 700 and some opened ones. This is for both charities for both games. So it's like, oh my God. Spreadsheets, man, spreadsheets. Okay, so there we go. And I did want to mention also, this is the final weekend-ish for Movember. This is a separate thing. You can go to Movember.com, mobro.co/Jerry Snook, or moteam.co/Standing Stone Games with hyphens. And you can get a Steed of the Red Dawn. This is a limited, we kind of brought this one back for the charity. Now, it'll probably come out in the future, but it's not really going to be, I think we're going to save it for this kind of purpose for the near term. So don't expect a million of them in the world anytime soon. But if you want to donate and get one of those things right now, you can. And we have raised more than $4,100 for Movember this year as well, crushing our goal of $3,000. And again, that is thanks to your generosity. So thank you very much, everybody. Let me get to a couple of questions before I get into the game. Well, actually, I'm going to try to log into the game now. But let me get to a couple of questions here before we just kind of get in-game in general. Okay. Whether we patch Dragok, is that how I say it?
Dragok.
In Rise of Isengard, for when we get to that in Legendary, remains to be seen. It wouldn't surprise me, but we'll kind of have to see what happens there. It's way too early to really say. Yes, we are aware that creeps cannot buy Black Seal keys, but they do get loot boxes. We are working to resolve that issue for a year. I'm not sure why Bjornings need the heavy armor. They're pretty durable without it. However, I'm trying to stay optimistic for the changes. Yeah, I would also mention that, you know, similar to other class changes, this is iterative. I would not be surprised to kind of make some changes, see how it impacts things, make some changes, see how it impacts things, particularly on a class like the Bjorning that is in a somewhat tricky state. So, why is there no T3 version of the new raid on Bullroarer? We are not releasing T3 until after the raid is released. This is consistent with our all of our plans for, say, we released earlier this year about kind of loot boxes, raid difficulty, and all that sort of thing. So you can usually expect to see a T3 release within a month or so of the raid going out on live, and so we didn't want to preview that on Bullroarer because we're not trying to give away all the secrets at this point. And besides, at this point, you've had less than 24 hours to look at the raid. It's a very early state, so the idea of trying to also have a fine-tuned balance for T3 at this point is perhaps a little optimistic. So, all right. Do you have any comment on the new changes to essence removal, allowing for mithril coin removal, which plays into the removal of seals from Thorog and other instances? I am not up on that one enough. I would be curious to know more about what you mean allowing for mithril coin removal, but that sounds like something I will have to take up with the commerce and systems teams. When do we get new weapon titles? That's a cool idea, but I have nothing to mention about that. Sorry. Thank God November's finally over so Cord can regrow his beard. You know, I have to admit, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah.
Same.
So Prime XC is having a specific Bullroarer issue. Some of the armor pieces on Bjorning is not automatically turning into heavy. It sounds like it's just in a non-complete state on this preview for Bullroarer, I would guess. No word on Rohan housing. Sorry, I have not heard much about that, so I'm sorry to say. Hopefully that'll come sooner rather than later. Now, oh hey, Telerian, here's a good one. Can I confirm seasonal instances for the Yuletide Festival? Guess what, folks? I can. So, yes, we have got Yuletide new stuff coming, and this will be in December here. I happen to know we're going to kind of do probably another Boss from the Vault style thing, along with a seasonally themed thing, a little bit like what we did for summer. I think you're going to like it, and that should be available when Yuletide hits. So, all right, let me head over to YouTube. Yeah, so Braden, if there's an issue about Bjorning attack bugs on Bullroarer, and Vastin already mentioned he's going to be testing it, that'll get taken care of. All right. Are there plans for Tier 2, 3 higher scaled loot of the level 50 stuff from Bullroarer? So, yeah, because of the... my guess is because of the fact that we haven't really iterated up to T3 on that stuff yet, the itemization goes along with that. So, my guess is the answer is yes on that. Is the new raid going to be champion friendly? Yes. If you were a champion, everyone just waves you by and says, "Hey, friend, come on through." No word on PvMP coming to Legendary. Sorry. And quick back on Twitch. Okay, well, Wilden, I'll have to kind of follow up on that further. That's not something I am really equipped to answer kind of off the cuff like this. I'll have to do a little more digging around. I'm sorry. But I will make a note of that. Alright. Will the visiting banker be fixed with the next patch? Shoot, I'm not familiar with that one either. It's almost like I've been on vacation for most of a week. I'm falling way behind on questions. Yeah.
You also logged into the wrong character.
Oh, I did. Wow, Cord with the snark. Oh, well, no, it wasn't. Oh, because of the champ thing? Oh, I was just being goofy. I didn't mean anything by it. Sorry if it came across poorly. Any plans to see...
Champ main 2007. It's okay, Jerry.
Okay. Any plans?
Still gonna come next year.
Yeah, yeah. Any plans to see my haircut? Someday. It'll happen someday. I have not had a haircut in quite some time. Not since the last major national election. And we'll see when I get a cut again. Alright. If I would go for a mohawk. I don't know, man. I don't think I'm the mohawk kind of guy. Man, you guys are keeping me busy. All right, let's see.
Well, if you cut enough of your hair, you could donate to the Locks of Love.
Yeah, perhaps. I've actually heard, though, that, and I literally do not know, but I have heard that they sort of have some requirements as to what they accept, because they tend to get a lot, and so they have to get stuff that they can process successfully. And without trying to be rude, it tends to be younger people's hair, shall we say. But maybe I'm wrong about that. So.
Well, you're old. That's true.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Okay, book 15, chapter 1 is where I am at, and then I've also got Honoring the Fallen with... that's early stuff. Oh, it's Moria stuff, okay. Bedbugs. That's Durin's Threshold Camp, I don't need to worry about that. Honoring the Fallen would be nice, but it sounds like we could just move on to... I see Volume 1, Book 15, so why don't we do that? Talk to Glorfindel in Rivendell. Yeah, there's Glorfindel outside, so okay.
This is the last book before the Moria content started anyway.
Cool. Am I using 2 monitors on stream? So what I do is, yes. And actually at home, let me tell you folks, if you are a big streamer, like do a lot of this kind of thing. I mean, not big as an audience size, but big as in you do it frequently. 3 monitors. I'm telling you, 3 monitors is what you want. But I have 2 in the office here, yeah. 1 for XSplit, 1 for all the chats, 1 for the game client. Alright, Narmaleth at Delacid.
That's a bit of a ride. There's not much of a swift travel to it.
Okay. Feel free to lead on if you knowest where thou go. Yep.
I'm gonna check something real quick.
I have 3 in my home for streaming. Yeah, so it's a little bit of a hacky setup, similar to most of the rest of my personal life. But it's I had 1 monitor for a long time, and then it started to kind of go. I thought maybe it was the cord, and then it wasn't, and so I picked up a 2nd monitor, and then I had need for a small television for something a couple of years ago, so I picked up a 1920 by 1080 monitor TV, and et cetera, boring. But yes, I ended up with basically 3 monitors hooked up as a test, and it's not like super fancy or anything, but it is pretty cheap and it works good, so I recommend it for people who tend to do a lot of streaming and multitasking and things like that. I just have a basic 1060 I'm running it through, so. Yeah, that's exactly right. 2 of them are frankly LCD TV / monitors / whatever you want to call them nowadays. But it works just fine. And I think each of them was like $100. I mean, literally, these are kind of budget line stuff. What am I currently using for a GPU? That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that.
Trimmers.
Yeah. Alright, so we are going to...
Yeah, the swift travel for Eckhard Kendeleth.
Yep.
Do that, please.
Yep. Yuki, no, we haven't, there's some kind of political thing happening with loot boxes, and we haven't had any plans nor likely need to change any of our design there. If we ever have to, we will. You know, do what you do. Yep.
Alright, gotta go ride down the hill.
Okay. Was actually, oh yeah, here we go. That was actually playing some LOTRO last, Normaleth. Wrong one. The other hill.
Well, you can go down either way, off the hill, but you know.
Yeah.
Just follow the quest arrow.
Yep.
Y'all, can you stop calling me a chick on chat, guys, girls, ladies, whatever?
Well, what's going on?
Annoying.
Yeah?
Oh, they're all calling me a chicken. I really dislike dudes calling ladies chicks. So please don't do that in chat. Show some freaking respect. But video dame, I'm a lady knight, gosh darn it.
Okay. Is my life a video game? It is. And I'm leveling up every single day. Wait, is he like across the water here?
She is.
Okay. I'm not sure what the status of pick amounts are for the Steelbound loot boxes. I'll have to kind of follow into that, so.
You gotta come down the river, not up the hill.
Okay. Now we're going this way? Yeah, here we go to Losset. So no gender politic debates, etc., in chat, please. I appreciate it, but just everyone drop it. It's all right. Anyway, minor. I thought we had pick amounts in there, but if not, then we'll just have to follow up on that. Sorry.
Thank you, Angelino. I appreciate you too. Gussie moves in with, how about them Seahawks? I don't know. I mean, we can start football fights in here, and then we can start a fight as to which football is better, American or European.
It should be called Handball. That is my only debate about that particular sport. It should be not American handball. It can be football for what we call soccer, and then what we call football should just be handball.
Sports ball.
It doesn't need to be sports ball. That's derogatory. It can be handball, and that's a very legitimate phrase for the sport. It's more accurate as to what you actually do with it. And it ends this debate once and for all. I like hand egg
as well. Hand egg is a favorite.
Yeah, but see, again, that's a little on the disrespectful side. So I would say, seriously, handball is just as good as football. It's okay.
But handball is its own specific game, though, Jerry.
Oh yeah, someone's already told me that before, haven't they?
Yes, I played handball.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Okay, so I didn't know handball existed. So now we're going to have an American handball and a...
Yeah, Crystal Aowen is correct. It's like racquetball without rackets. I think we should just all start fighting over who our favorite esports team is.
Listen, unless it came out for the Atari VCS, I probably haven't played the sport. I'm just saying, you know.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I'm picking up refugees. refugees. That's what I'm doing.
Why are you picking up refugees? That's not part of what our
It
quest
says,
is.
speak to the refugees. Book 15, Chapter 3.
How
Outside of the library.
Did you manage to see Halbrad?
Oh, Halbrad's just right in here. Halbrad's right by this door, through the door here.
Yes, how did I manage to go in and not see you there?
Oh, am I heading into
Maybe
this
I was
door thing?
too busy starting fights in chat.
No. I don't even know where you are, to be honest. So.
I'm talking to Halberd.
Oh, okay.
Take that old quest for later.
Oh no, there's an American Handball. Well, geez, that's it. I'm out. We're out of luck. All the names have been taken. There is no more names for new sports. Perhaps Europe should just start calling it soccer. That'll be popular.
Yeah. About as popular as the current political referendum going on right now.
Yeah, you're true. That this probably could cause political conflict. Almost certainly, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, they're just all around here, huh? Nice.
What chance have you?
I see one over here. Then one the other way, huh? Actually, how far away are these two? I wonder. Oh yeah, about equidistant, so I guess it really doesn't matter which we do first. How about we head back first?
That's a mighty fine elk. I wonder what new Yule Festival amount we're going to get this time around. I know somebody in this room has seen it. It's not me.
That's true. I actually have seen some stuff. I think, you know, our art team, I know this, I work for the company, so whatever, to bias, but our art team's been kind of on a roll lately. I think they've been doing really good. And I think people are going to like the Yuletide Fest stuff, too. If you liked what we've been doing lately.
And spoiler, I really love the new Middle Earth map that's on Bullroarer right now.
Yep.
I know it's not to everybody's taste. I'll grant you that. It would be actually kind of nice. Here's a suggestion to toss to the team. I don't know how possible this is, but what about making it kind of like how we have the visual updates for characters you can toggle on and off? What about doing the same thing for the maps?
So that has come up. Oh, I actually have to. Looks like I have. Oh yeah, talk to Halberad. Okay. That's come up periodically. That it would be, quote, you know what we should do sometime, kind of a thing, you know. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that it's ever significantly progressed beyond that. Now we did do some updates. We have done some updates in recent years, if I'm not mistaken. So I would not be surprised if we didn't do that someday. But you know, I think other things we need to do first.
Well, there's always priorities, but yeah, I thought I'd just throw that one out there because there are some folks who, you know, they just don't like the new map style, and you know, it's a taste thing. So I thought maybe if it was possible to toggle them on and off, like we can do the visual updates for characters, there might be something cool for them.
I'm not sure I like Halberad very much.
Which chapter? How did you get the other one?
I have to find the missing refugee.
Okay, so you're at a different stage of an earlier epic quest, so...
Book 15, Chapter 4?
Yeah, but you're seeing Halberad in a different place than I am because of phasing.
Oh. That's interesting. Alright, where am I headed?
And Son of Light is over here quoting Tom Petty. Nice.
Okay, why am I not seeing this? I assume it's...
Seeing what?
Oh, here we go. Never mind. So we just really need to head east through the woods and all, through these mountains and through the woods,
the
huh?
camp of Angmarim and stuff, yes.
Okay. Well, didn't Halberad just say he was just like, he needs to punish a refugee for not wanting to be at camp? And I'm just like, well, then you're beeswax.
Okay, when did this area get a visual update? I do not recall being here later, but holy Christmas, there's a lot of trees now. I haven't quested up here since a while.
I'm guessing a lot of this work was ahead of Legendary.
Yeah.
It's a nice plane to run through, though. Let me actually stop for a sec.
Until you get run over by a roving threat.
Are we talking on a Discord? Yeah, we are using Discord for easy voice chat, separate from the game client. It's just kind of useful.
Since I don't work for the company, I can say this is a superior voice client to the one that we find in game. Sorry.
Oh, I don't think anyone here would disagree with that. I mean, our voice client is rudimentary. Functional, but fairly rudimentary. Fun fact, it's based on old GameSpy tech. Remember GameSpy? Yeah, they were like, been out of business a decade now or so, haven't they? Yeah.
A while ago.
But it's one of those kind of arguments nowadays, though, with the popularity of things like TeamSpeak, Discord, and Skype, and 1,000 other kind of voice clients and that. It seems like most gamers, especially MMO gamers, just utilize those tools anyway. So, and if you don't want to utilize those tools, the voice chat, you know, it's functional. So, I wouldn't really expect any immediate changes or any changes anytime soon, really, to the voice chat client. Not that we were opposed, it's just kind of hard to justify the work compared to a bunch of other things.
Kind of like reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. It does work, and actually we have done some work, because one of our engineers actually implemented the sliders, in this past year or so, and that was a biggie. That was actually a real, in some ways, kind of a big game changer, I think. At least it feels that way to me, so. Sorry, Telerian. He wants to know, are there hidden sort of titles and such on Legendary? I am not going to say. So the reason it's based on that older GameSpy tech, but is still functional in 2018, is because we did not utilize voice chat, say, through their servers or anything like that back in the day. At the time that Lord of the Rings Online came out and Dungeons & Dragons Online came out, there was sort of a separate, almost like third-party plug-in style thing that you could implement into the game client, and that's what we did back in the day. And we've done a lot of kind of our own iteration on it over the years and things. But at its kernel there, that is indeed its lineage.
I'm kind of sad the roving thread isn't up, because I would totally lead you right to it.
Rumors are that seals in the new update don't drop, so the new method to remove essence is only by mithril coins. Okay, yeah, that was the same thing Wilden was mentioning in chat there. So I don't know. I'll have to look further into that. I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry. I have not heard of that rumor, but then I've been on vacation for a week, so. I did have a good Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. And I had a great week off.
So we discussed the last time we talked about you and Thanksgiving that you were going to have some sort of lame Thanksgiving dinner. What did you actually have, Jeff?
I had Pop-Tarts and green beans.
Wow, that is the lamest you've ever managed.
Yes, it was it may be a personal best. So it has a roll off the tongue in a way that is true to its intention. A lot of gaming, both LOTRO and DDO and other stuff. A lot of kind of bumming around and shopping. I did some RC car stuff. For those who don't know, I am a geek in many ways. One being RC cars. If you like like hobby grade style RC car stuff, like Armatraxis, Losi, that kind of stuff, someday we can talk about it. It says using that is having no effect when I try to go through that door.
You're going to the wrong door because your halberad's in a different... The princess is in a different castle.
Where's my halberad?
The same place you found me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're there. Never mind. I did actually have like a bit of a vegan thing afterwards as well. That was on like Friday or Saturday. I had like a vegan roast kind of a thing. A field roast, if they call it. It was good. Did I drink a caffeine-free Diet Coke with my Pop-Tart coat over? No, but I should have. I did not have any with me. Instead, I had plain seltzer water. Where am I? I probably need to get back on my horse here, huh?
No, you can just run up the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's dark because this is an external courtyard. It's nighttime.
So one of the things I want to do in 2019, and I know that this is going to lead to lots of guffaws and trolling and such, but I actually do want to do a couple of PvMP sessions for Court of the Rings. That's on my list of things to do in 2019, folks. So
it's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Session play.
Cool.
This is a good one. No lightning shadow. The point is not to survive. The point is
the point is to have fun. Yeah, this is just going to be a for fun thing. So it's true. Cryless, so someone that works in gaming spends their days gaming. Did you make a change on vacation, or was it also gaming? It was, although it tended to be different sort of gaming. There's games that I play for work. There's games that I play for kind of knowledge that informs business decisions and things like that. You know, what are your competitors doing, et cetera, right? And then there's games I play for fun, and then there's games that I just have like long-term games that a lot of other people do, and things like that. So the games I play tends to change. Although, like I said, I actually got a fair amount of both DDO and LOTRO in this past week. I also, it's actually true though, I did take, especially for a community management job, and like I say, this goes directly against anyone actually knowing you're on vacation. But it's really important from like a mental health perspective to occasionally just detach from moderation, the forums, new posts, social media messages coming in. Things like that. You kind of just need to take a couple-day break from that stuff, just for your own mental health and perspective. It's important. And so I was able to do that this week some as well. So I would say that's the biggest change for me in terms of what tends to happen when I go on vacation like that. But like I say, you can't do that if people know you're on vacation, because the internet will cause problems. So. Not that any of you guys are rude or anything. I'm just saying that's just the reality of, you know, the world, as it were.
Sort of like showing their true metalhead colors here by quoting Quiet Riot.
I approve.
I do too.
And yes, I did play Atari games and in television games. Actually, I also brought out, I have both the Super Nintendo Mini and the regular Nintendo Mini, like the classics that came out over the last year or so. So I actually plugged those in one night and was playing like a whole bunch of kind of like vintage gaming, like Bubble Bobble and some of the Super Mario 3, that kind of stuff, you know. So it was a good time. And yes, I picked up a couple of Atari carts.
This is my lack of surprise. Dave.
Oh, actually, I picked up a...
If you hadn't.
I almost don't want to spoil this because I want to save it for my own personal stream, but because I don't want any of you to watch my personal stream.
Twitch.tv/mockduck.
I found and purchased a classic Pac-Man arcade front, you know, like at the top of the arcade machine that's like lit up. The front banner or whatever, as it were, from an arcade machine, an actual classic Pac-Man arcade machine. It was awesome. Picked it up on the cheap. Not a full cabinet, just the kind of top marquee part, and I can backlight it and stuff like that, and it'll look awesome. I buffed it up a little bit with a buffer I use for like projects like that, and it's looking great. I have a Donkey Kong 3 one too, by the way. Yeah. I like it. Hey, Glenel, you're not wrong. Yeah. Is it true in the next update the bear class and use heavy? Yes. When will fellowship maneuvers become great again? I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but I would say probably no time soon. I don't know what the exact current state of the captain class is, but that would be a question for Vast, and hopefully I can catch up with him soon and see what work's been done. What about Tackle Ball? I like it. I like it a lot. I'm going to have to ponder that one and see if maybe perhaps that officially enters the lexicon for what we need to do about the naming of football. I like Tackle Ball a lot. It has a nice ring to it. What do you think, folks? Is it now called Tackle Ball?
I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that too. I think you are right, Amanda. Nice work. Okay. No news on the 64-bit client. Like I said, I kind of have been out, and I know our engineers have been working on a few other things, but it is still being worked on. My understanding is we have made progress, and things are cooking along. Sorry it's taking a lot longer than anyone really wants, but that's... It'll be released when it's ready. And I couldn't tell you when it's ready. Sorry. Probably not right before Christmas. Or the holidays, Hanukkah and all the rest.
Glorfindel, mightiest of elf lords, tests the heart of Narmerth, seeking to learn if the spirit of Amarthur has truly passed from her. If Narmerth has...
You're full of great questions, Telerian. Unfortunately, I don't have the answers to them about account-wide deeds in the future.
I know something I want account-wide.
Yeah?
The ability to purchase the Steed of Mickle Delving. It's not the right direction.
Why, is it just once per
Yeah.
all servers?
Yeah, you have to buy it per character.
Oh, that's just a basic per character thing then. Okay.
Well, it's 2,000, well, 1,990. Well, it's a bunch of mithril coins.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other racial steeds had at some point been available where you can buy them account-wide. I have them account-wide, and it's the only one I don't have.
That's a lengthier question. I know that, you know, it's been through multiple kind of e-commerce executives and things like that over the years. I think it would just probably the wisest thing I would say about that at this point is just that if we ever did decide to make a change like that, we would do our best to make sure everyone felt like we made it whole. And we're certainly aware that there's interest in it. I just mentioned the 64-bit, nothing new to say there. Oh, okay. Great. I've got 5 minutes left. Let me bring in the controversy. No, I'm not going to bring in the controversy, but I do have a question for you. So there's a discussion happening right now about the timing for the release of the new raid. And I'm curious how many of you... I know people always want it, you know, as soon as reasonably possible on that, but how many of you realistically think that you would be doing a lot of raiding over over the next, let's say, the month of December here, as opposed to if we gave it, another couple weeks to bake or something like that and released it in January. Anyone feel very strongly either way about that? I mean, mostly it's like everything else going to be task-based, when is it ready and all that sort of thing. But there's just kind of a discussion happening is how much expectation is there right now that we release the new raid, and let's just say before the holiday break. And I'm just kind of curious to see what your thoughts are on that. Yeah, I mean, that's generally been the feedback we've been hearing, both internally and kind of minorly externally when we've been able to kind of ping people, is people are like, I just don't have time for it in December, so I'm fine with January. And if everyone's fine with January and it makes for a better raid, maybe we should do that, huh? I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I personally think of it in terms of if there's any kind of problems with it that need to be bug fixed. And from my understanding, y'all have holidays in the game world, so we're going to have like lower staff over the holidays, so we take much longer time to get them fixed. Yeah.
Like I said, it's ultimately the raid will be released when we feel it's in a releasable state. But there was actually a conversation literally this morning about the status of when on the raid, and the discussion was had about, man, maybe we should just maybe we should be looking at January here. Maybe that's the right time for this. If Twisted Sister got together and played Lord of the Rings Online as a fellowship, what song would they sing to Sauron? We're not going to take it? I don't know.
I know somebody we could probably ask. My friend Jay the Tavern Bard, who won the BlizzCon Talent Contest last year, is a big metalhead, and he has recently discovered the LOTRO music system, so he's been having a lot of fun adapting metal songs to stuff in the game.
I mean, Twisted Sister, they've gone pretty metal since that song, so if they're singing it to Sauron, I'm going to guess a far more evil-sounding song than that. It might have power chords, but it's definitely going to be,
Are you a power chord?
Something Sauron would... Oh, God. Thanks for that one. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might be, at least for now, with Sam Burke. It's at least going to be I Wanna Rock. Yeah. I am power chord. Nice. I will have to look into that deathly on YouTube. I have heard of that bug also. I don't know the current status of it. Yes, EdPack, the expansions do cover an entire account when purchased. If you got a message saying it was assigned to a particular character, and maybe that there's a part of that expansion that will award things when you click on an item, and that item may have been delivered to that character. Yeah. But I would have to dig deeper to better answer that. So, all right, I think that's going to wrap it up with the show here today. All right, thanks very much, everyone, for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Druid's Fire, for being here as well.
You're welcome.
And what are your plans for today?
I don't know. I put a poll up on my Twitter to see what folks wanted to see me play. So if they voted for Bullroarer and you guys shut it down this afternoon, we're all going to be sad pandas.
Oh, I hate to tell you, if you're
but,
not streaming
I don't
until late this afternoon, odds are fairly good Bullroarer will be down by then. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yep. All right, and I will see all of you next Friday for more Court of the Rings. Corey will be up next, right? Corey's up next, right?
He's supposed to be, yeah.
Okay, Corey's up next here on LOTRO Stream. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next week.